Close your eyes and imagine Paris. You see wide boulevards, elegant cafés, the Eiffel Tower piercing the sky. But that Paris didn't exist 200 years ago. The city you're about to see is different. Using historical paintings and engravings as our window into the past, we'll reconstruct a city that once pulsed with life and has since vanished. Today, we take a walk through time to Paris in the early 1800s, before much of it was demolished to make way for the Paris we know today. Our journey begins at the ancient heart of the city, crosses bridges so crowded with houses you can barely see the river below, winds through the noisy markets supplied by the Seine, and ends with the transformation that would change Paris forever. Let's step back in time. We begin our tour where Paris itself began, the Île de la Cité, the island in the Seine that has been inhabited for over 2,000 years. This is the medieval heart of the city. Rising above everything is Notre Dame Cathedral, already 600 years old by the 1800s. Its towers dominate the skyline, visible from every corner of old Paris, a constant presence above the chaos. But the island isn't just a religious center. It's packed with buildings, crammed with residents. Every inch of space is occupied. Narrow streets wind between ancient houses that lean precariously toward each other. The Hôtel Dieu Hospital sits beside the cathedral, caring for Paris's sick and dying. The island pulses with life. Priests, merchants, beggars, nobles, all pressed together in this ancient space. Now we leave the island and plunge into the medieval streets of the right bank. Immediately, you're swallowed by darkness. These streets are impossibly narrow, some barely 6 feet wide. Buildings rise 6-7 stories high on either side, their upper floors jutting out over the street. This is called encorbellement. It gives residents more space, but blocks out the sun completely. Even at midday, you walk in twilight. The air is thick and heavy. Above you, neighbors across the street can reach out their windows and shake hands. The city presses in from all sides. These streets follow no logic. They twist and turn, following paths laid down in the Middle Ages. Street names change every few blocks. Getting lost isn't just possible, it's guaranteed for any visitor. The streets are alive with people. Vendors shout from doorways. Children play in the shadows. Women lean from windows, talking to neighbors. Every inch is occupied, every moment filled with noise and movement. Now we approach the Seine. But the bridges here aren't just crossings, they're neighborhoods. The Pont Notre Dame connects the island to the right bank, and it's completely covered with houses. Buildings line both sides of the bridge, creating a suspended street. Goldsmiths, bookbinders, and merchants occupy ground-floor shops. Families live in apartments above, the Seine flowing beneath. Constant noise fills the air. Carts rumbling over cobblestones, vendors shouting, the river rushing below. The Pont au Change is similar, another bridge lined with buildings, another suspended neighborhood. These bridges are some of the most expensive real estate in Paris, despite being built over water. Our tour continues to Les Halles, the massive central market that has fed Paris since the 12th century. As we approach, the noise becomes deafening. This is the beating heart of commerce. Les Halles operates nearly 24 hours a day. Before dawn, farmers arrive with carts loaded with vegetables, fruit, grain. By sunrise, the market explodes with activity. Thousands of buyers and sellers. The variety is endless. Fresh fish, meat on hooks, warm bread, wine from across France, exotic spices. The smell overwhelms, bread mixing with rotting vegetables and fish. The noise is constant. Vendors shouting, customers haggling, carts rumbling, animals squealing. The streets around Les Halles are permanently clogged. Carts can barely move. Pedestrians squeeze between horses and wagons. Fights break out over blocked passages. This is Paris at its most intense and alive. Much of what we saw in Les Halles arrives here first, along the Seine. The river isn't just water flowing through the city, it's Paris's main highway, its lifeline. Boats crowd the water, bringing goods from across France and beyond. Barges loaded with wine, grain, timber, coal, stone. Smaller boats ferry passengers across the river. Fishermen cast their nets. The quays are stacked with cargo. Barrels, crates, sacks waiting to be transported. The riverbanks are working areas, rough, dirty, dangerous. Laborers haul cargo. Boat builders repair vessels. Laundresses wash clothes in the river water despite the filth. This is working-class Paris at its grittiest and most essential. But the Seine is also Paris's sewer. Everything flows into it. Waste from streets, runoff from slaughterhouses, human excrement. The same water where women wash clothes is poisoned. Disease thrives here. Everywhere we've walked, one thing is constant: people. Paris in the 1800s is desperately overcrowded. Over 500,000 people are crammed into just a few square miles. Entire families live in single rooms, buildings designed for 10 house 50. The sanitation is medieval. Literally. There's no sewer system. Waste accumulates in streets. Residents throw everything out their windows: garbage, chamber pots, slop water. The warning cry, "Gardez l'eau," meaning "watch out for the water," rings out constantly as waste rains down from 6 stories up. The smell is indescribable. Rotting garbage, human excrement, animal waste. It makes visitors physically ill. Disease is constant. Cholera, typhoid, tuberculosis sweep through regularly, killing thousands. The dark streets and contaminated water create perfect conditions for epidemics. By the 1850s, Paris has reached a breaking point. The medieval city can't support its population. The narrow streets make police control nearly impossible. Rebels build barricades in minutes during uprisings. When Napoleon III takes power in 1852, he decides Paris must be completely transformed. He appoints Baron Georges-Eugène Haussmann as prefect of the Seine and gives him unprecedented authority to rebuild the city. What follows is the most dramatic urban transformation in history. Haussmann demolishes entire neighborhoods, including most of the Île de la Cité. Thousands of buildings are destroyed. Whole communities are erased from the map. Wide boulevards are carved through the medieval maze. The new streets are designed for beauty, yes, but also for control. Troops and artillery can move quickly. Barricades become impossible to build or defend. Haussmann builds a modern sewer system, installs gas lighting, and creates parks. But the transformation of Paris had already begun decades earlier. The houses that once crowded its bridges were gradually removed. The Pont Notre Dame was cleared in 1786, and others followed. The cost is enormous, financially and socially. Tens of thousands are displaced. The working class is pushed to the outer neighborhoods. Property speculators make fortunes. The medieval city vanishes, replaced by Haussmann's grand vision. Paris didn't just change, it was erased and rebuilt from the ground up. The medieval labyrinth, the crowded bridges, the suffocating streets, all swept away to create the elegant city we know today. What Haussmann destroyed can never be recovered. But now you've seen what stood there before the boulevards. If you enjoyed this reconstruction of historical Paris, let me know in the comments what other time periods or cities you'd like to see brought to life. Thanks for coming along, and I hope you'll join me again for another walk through time.